we're
All right. So Newport this week, big discussion around town and really in general around the country right now, which is how to best position our coastal assets. That's something that is in the purview of the Newport Beach Commission. Rick, pardon me. I guess if you want to introduce yourself and sort of explain your position on the Volunteer Beach Commission, and we'll get into some of the incisive questions here.
very good. Uh, yes, my name is Rick Klaffky. I'm the chair of the Beach Commission. The Beach Commission's role is to advise the city council on matters having to do with the beach, particularly capital improvements. And we are a commission of 7 people. We've been advising the council on this matter for some time now, and we've written several recommendations to the council about how we see this plan unfolding, or how we would like to see it unfold.
So you serve in 3-year terms. A lot has really changed in the last couple of years. How long have you been on the Beach Commission?
I joined the Beach Commission in 2018, November of 2018, and I've been chair since March of 2021.
So, of course, the big conversation right now is the dismantling and demolition of Easton's beaches facilities. And look, there's sort of 2 schools of thought right now. One of them is to rebuild and do so in a way that is vigorous and somewhat reminiscent of what has been there in recent and really for decades. The other is to think of almost letting the beach go and basically providing parking and beach access, no traditional amenities. Perhaps you'd have something along the lines of food trucks or very temporary facilities. This comes down to an ever-changing climate and really just from an infrastructure standpoint, a look at the future where coastal development is heading. I mean, there's no question about it. We're experiencing climate change. It's aggressive. And a lot of people wonder, why build on the beach? Are you in favor of restoring the beach facilities as they were or similar to how they were over the last several years?
Well, I think we have to break this down into pieces, Bill. Uh, some of the beach facilities, I think, do not rank in our view as a high enough priority to warrant the large investment that it would take and the use of the city's funds as at an exposed location that's so close to the ocean. However, there are some structures at the beach which we think are necessary and desirable going forward that we would like to see replaced.
So it's a little bit of both, so to speak. Which facilities do you think ought to be replaced?
So I think breaking this down, we sent a recommendation to the city council about a year ago. And in our view, the number 1 priority on the whole beach plan was the nourishment of the beach. And that is importing additional sand. The beach has been getting narrower over the years, and it's narrowed quite a bit now to a point where we've seen even recently that it doesn't take a hurricane or even a named storm to flood out the structures there. And when the structures flood out, it's not only a matter of the beach structures, it's a matter of that whole area. Memorial Boulevard would be at risk, and the pond across the street, which is vital to our drinking water, would also be at risk. So we think the number 1 priority is nourishing the beach, which would also have the benefit of widening the beach, make a larger recreational area than it is right now. So that, in our recommendation to the council, was the number 1 priority to build in this plan. And I think the the council did pencil in $12 million of a new bond issue that would hopefully go to the beach, and the biggest part of that would go to beach nourishment. So that would be the number one item in our view.
Some folks, pardon me, please.
Yeah, and then getting to the structures themselves, right now, we are slated to demolish the carousel building and the snack bar building. And I think that is going to go forward by June 30. So that's very far along, and I think that's going to take place very soon. The rotunda, when the DBVW report was submitted in 2021, the rotunda was credited with being the best condition of the three buildings that are there, even though it's also the oldest. And that report recommended preserving the rotunda and probably demolishing the snack bar and the carousel building because they were really too far gone. And we agree with that.
So you do agree with that aspect of, some folks have made the suggestion that, and look, this is something that we hear in a lot of pieces of infrastructure. Certainly just take a look at the bridge conversation right now up here in Providence, but that the reason why we've seen the conditions of the facilities at Easton's Beach is because of years, if not decades, of insufficient maintenance. Your reaction to those, I don't want to say accusations, but that notion that's floating around in Newport that the city didn't do a good job of maintaining these facilities, and that's how we got here.
I'd have to say I do agree with that. And I think the DBVW report, which, we've read thoroughly front to back many times over, the DBVW report cites deferred maintenance as a big issue at the beach.
It does seem logical. I think it's probably ultimately something that with a little bit of oversight, we'd be able to understand how to better strategize maintenance and sort of mitigating the impacts of climate change and the changes on the beach that we've all seen in tandem with a different maintenance strategy. So I guess let me ask you this in our final couple of minutes here. Your vision, 5 years from now, what does Easton's Beach look like to you? What's there from a facility standpoint, from an amenity standpoint, and from a, like you said, just a conservation standpoint, also protecting the reservoir?
The priorities as we see them go like this, that the number one thing as the Beach Commission that we're concerned about is the beach itself. And so that is the most important part of it from our perspective. And that would mean the beach nourishment. It would mean a landscape change there where we would have enhanced dune structure and significantly higher mound of sand there that would be protecting the whole area and protecting the beach itself. And then in the structures, what we ranked as important is, first of all, with respect to the beach, you can see those parking lots get completely filled on summer weekends. There's lots of people down there. So in our view, in order to run an attraction like that in an effective way, you need to have structures there that allow you to have first aid, to have lifeguard staffing, to have beach staffing. You need some structures there to house these functions, to house storage of equipment to maintain the beach. So you need those functions there. You need restrooms. You need showers. Those are structures that we think are important to have there. We would also prefer in our view, and we've written this also to the city council, we would also prefer to have a snack bar there, a permanent snack bar, as opposed to a food truck solution. That would be a preference of ours. The carousel, much as we hate to part with it, it's been destroyed. The carousel building has been really destroyed. It's a lot of moving parts. It doesn't receive the use that the other buildings receive. From our point of view, it's hard to justify the cost of replacing the carousel building at the beach itself.
Well, that paints a pretty good picture, and it's certainly a major role that you play in shaping the future of the city. And I think a lot of people are appreciative of your work. And I certainly am appreciative of a pragmatic solution that you seem to be aware of, which is that, again, I think this is probably the third time I've said it, but the region's changing climatically, and from just an infrastructure standpoint, we've got to adapt. It's good to see a forward-thinking beach commission, and one that also, or at least from its chair, but also one that recognizes the legacy of Easton's beach and the importance of certain amenities from a practical standpoint. Nothing worse than going to a beach without restrooms. I mean, but just,
Yeah,
you know, that's a thing that is an other we'll say unofficial beaches that a lot of people frequent in Newport County. That's a thing, and it's good to see a pragmatic solution. Rick, I thank you for your time on Newport this week. I'd love to check in as we get closer to that June 30th demolition date. Maybe we'll go down and we'll do a video and put some sad music behind it as the demolition takes place. But pragmatic solutions for an evolving city and an evolving planet that lean into common sense, but also pull at the heartstrings in terms of legacy. Thank you so much for your time this morning.
sure. Thank you, Bill. Thank you for having me.